So a while back I built this piston thruster engine and it was pretty decent, but it was time for some upgrades. You know, the problem with thrusters in creative, it's not a problem, but in survival they use a lot of gas. But today we're gonna talk about electromagnetic piston engines. So the first thing we should understand is how they work and like what is an electromagnet for some of you that don't know. So basically electromagnet is the same thing as magnet, but it uses electricity to power itself. So if you have power, you have a magnetic field. If you don't have power, you don't have a magnetic field. It's as simple as that, guys. In real life, electromagnets are everywhere, like in electric motors, relays, speakers, door locks, scrap cranes, even your starter motor in a car. Now the important thing here is to turn electromagnet into a energy, into movement. So I have seen some videos on YouTube of some people building electromagnetic piston engine. So today we're gonna try it out in scrap mechanics. So first things first, we gotta understand how electromagnets work in scrap mechanics. Now as you can see, we have south and we have north. When we turn on south and we turn on north, it's gonna pull itself. Now if we change this to south and we press this thing, as you can see, it goes away. Now if we have this here with north and this is gonna be south, it's gonna pull. See, it's slowly pulling, and the more closer it gets, the magnetic field is gonna be stronger and it's gonna pull faster. Now as you can see, we're not gonna use pulling motion here, we're gonna only use the pushing motion because I think it's way better. This is the most simple design of how I can teach you how to make a piston engine. Now as you can see, here we have north, 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 and it's also north. Now here we have a sensor. When the piston reaches the top, the sensor activates one of the magnetic fields. Now when you turn this engine on, as you can see, only the top magnetic field is active. When the piston reaches the top and the sensor detects it, it turns on all of these sensors, making the piston push down, and with this crank we turn it into rotational movement. I'm gonna show you how it works right now. Now as you can see, this is very simple, very like minimalistic. Only uses 3 magnets on the top and 3 magnets on the piston itself. This thing doesn't have torque, it just has some speed. It can like move this wheel, so you know it has some power. Of course it's not like it's zero power, but yeah, this is the core concept of how we are gonna make electromagnetic piston engine. Now what is the next upgrade that we need to make on this engine? And it's of course the timing. The most easiest and the best thing in scrap mechanic for timing, we have these things called timing wheels. What it basically is a wheel with some colors and a sensor that is color mode, and basically it detects the color and we can change the rotation with the controller, so we can get always precise timing, and it really helps with the engine stabilization and stuff like that. As you can see, I just turned it on and it just started working like that, only because of this timing wheel. Not like in this one we have just sensor, in this one we have timing wheel, which is way better. The engine is more stable, it's gonna be more power as well, only with this timing wheel. Now there's another way to make timing on a piston engine like this. Later I'm gonna show you. I have some examples right here of my own engines, and I'm gonna show you some cars that I made using both of these mechanics. Now this one, basically what it does when you turn it on, it basically stands the time that piston is pushed down, but it's not very reliable. I would not suggest using this one, but it works, as you can see. Now you see the piston, while it's going down, it's turned on, so that's what we want, but on more RPM it's just not gonna work. So I would not suggest using this one, it's not really reliable. So the next upgrade after a timing wheel, what do we need? Imagine if we have more power here, what's gonna happen? The piston is probably gonna blow out of this thing because of scrap mechanic physics. Now how do we solve this? We need a piston stabilization. There is this way. This is one of the most simplest, easiest ways how to stabilize a piston. You basically make rails that piston slides in, and yeah, I'm gonna show you how it works. So this is how it works. It's very simple, as you can see, but it's definitely more stable. Now look at this side by side. As you can see, the one on the right is a bit more shaky. The one on the left is not that shaky. The problem is, the more stable we make it, the more RPM we lose. That's how it is. Like, the energy has to be transferred somewhere, right? I really suggest this option, but there's another option how to do it. This one usually does the job. Now this is the other option. I'm gonna show you the example of a piston without any kind of stabilization. Now look, yeah, This is what would happen to high RPMs on that one. How we do it actually is with springs. Now we put a piston on the top and we push it down so the springs are always in squeezed position. Now look, we do it like this, as you can see, and now when we power on the piston, look, it's gonna be the same engine speed. Oh no, this is actually maxed out. Okay, never mind. So yeah, this is actually maxed out, and look, I know the sound is weird, but it's maxed out engine and it's so freaking stable, guys. Look at this. It's just moving up and down and that's it. It's very, very, very stable. Now, if you don't put this piston right here, this is what's gonna happen. As you can see, it's just not gonna work. So you have to have this piston to squeeze it down. But the problem here is that we lose a lot of RPM. It's gonna be very, very stable. It's never gonna get out of the cylinder walls, but the RPM is just terrible. As you can see, it's just terrible. Now, if we use the same principle as here to our magnetic piston engine, let me show what's gonna happen. Now, as remember, we squeeze the piston and we turn the engine on. Yeah, we have to look, it's just perfectly balanced. But the RPM, just look at this RPM. It's terrible. And it uses also six magnets like the other ones. And you remember how fast were the other ones. So as you can see, this one is the stabilization with the rails, and this one is with the springs. You see the difference in RPM, right? It's just there's a very, very big difference. But as you can see, even though we have these rails, it's a bit shaky, you know, and we try and avoid the shakiness by using this principle. But I really don't suggest using this one just because of the RPM. It's just terrible. Now we have the timing, yeah, and we have the stabilization. So what's next? The next probably would be a throttle, right? So how do we make throttle? It's very simple. When we turn on the engine, so yeah, we only use 6 magnets in total, 3 on the top, 3 on the bottom. But you're gonna ask, why do we have more magnets here? So that is where the throttle comes in. The logic here is very, very simple. When you turn on the switch, it turns on only the 3 on the top and 3 on the bottom. But when we press this button, it's gonna turn on the rest of them. So this is how the throttle works. As you can see, we can give it some more juice and we can just let it go and it's gonna still run. It really helps with something like, as you can see, when we put a bigger wheel, the engine is becoming slower and slower. Now when we press the throttle, as you can see, give it some juice, see, it catches back the RPM. So imagine like if this wheel is the torque required to just drive on the flat terrain, and imagine you're driving up this hill, yeah, you're gonna lose some RPM. So now you're driving up the hill, as you can see, you're driving up the hill and your car is about to stall and you just press the throttle and you're good, as you can see. So yeah, this principle is very simple, but it's very good. I use it a lot. So we have the timing, we have the stabilization, we have more power with the throttle. What's next, right? As you can see here, we're only pushing down. Each stroke is just a push down, you know. We can just copy the top and just paste it on the bottom. I know it might look a little bit complicated and stuff, but it's really not. It's just literally the same thing that's on the top, but it's copied on the bottom. As you can see, on the time wheel, I have 2 sensors instead of 1 like the other ones. It's because the one sensor is detecting when the piston is on the top and the other one is detecting when the piston is on the bottom. It's really that simple. I don't know what else to tell you guys. As you can see, it's very, very simple. Yeah, I put these sliding rails because this engine has too much power. If these rails wouldn't be here, it's just gonna shoot out of the cylinder walls. We have a throttle button. As you can see, it has a lot of power. This engine has a lot of power. Now let's put 1, 2, 3 of these big wheels. Let's push the throttle. As you can see, it's going, it's good. I don't know if it can drive this in the idle mode. I'm not sure. I don't think so. It's gonna stall, right? Or maybe not. Come on, push it through. Push it through, come on. No, it stopped. Okay, this is the last upgrade. It just makes the engine twice as powerful. So the next thing after this one is, of course, we have to make it a 3D model. So this is literally the same thing as here, but it's in 3D. Now I know this looks complicated and a lot of stuff here, but it's really not. It's literally the same thing. I tried to put as much glass as I can. Here we have some magnets on the top. Then we have our piston down there. And if you're wondering about these blocks, this is literally like the piston is 3 by 3. All of this around is just to keep it stable. Yeah, here we have our crankshaft and we have some magnets over here at the bottom. I'm gonna show you how it works now. So we turn it on and it just works like that. All of this around the piston is just to keep it stable. So these are the rails. But yeah, as you can see, it clearly can power the big wheel with ease. We also have a throttle button here. Okay, bro. Yeah, it's just way too much power for this one wheel. So let's put this thing in a car and I'm gonna show you how it drives. Now here I have some few examples of cars that I've built. These ones are with the new engine that I've built. I just deleted, but these ones are with the new engine. So I'm gonna show you how it drives. Now this engine is mounted by a shaft right here. It's very simple. There's no additional gears, nothing else included, just the raw engine to the wheels. So one thing that these piston engines usually need is a little bit of push. So the easiest way to do it is just start from the hill. So that's what we're gonna do now. I'm just gonna put it here on the hill and come on, start. Okay, there we go. Now it's in the idle. As you can see, it drives. It's not fast, of course, but it's free energy. Now on the turns, you have to kind of use the throttle. For a car, it's just way harder to turn and keep moving at the same time. So yeah, this is the idle. This is the idle mode. It's about 20 kilometers an hour. It's not perfect, of course, you know, but and with the throttle, we can squeeze around 33, 34. I saw 34 there. It's still a little bit unstable, even with the rails and everything. Now, this is the other car. This car doesn't use a shaft. It's just literally engine and wheels. That's it. The engine is straight up hooked to the wheels. Now, this works a little bit better usually. It doesn't have this collision energy loss. The more collisions you have, the more energy you lose, unfortunately. Yeah, this one is more stable, as you can see. In the idle mode, we're getting around 15 kilometers an hour. Yeah, very simplistic. Now, if we push the throttle, we can get to around 30. Almost the same as the previous car. A little bit slower though. So this is one of my piston engine magnetic cars. This uses bigger piston and no railings. I built this like a very long time ago. It's a little bit laggy when it runs, but there's nothing much I can do about that. It's just how scrap mechanic physics work. As you can see, in the idle mode, we are getting around 30 kilometers an hour in the idle. With the throttle mode, when we press the throttle, it lags so much. Oh my god, we are getting around 45, 48, 50. I saw 50 there. We have another car, and this one right here uses the timing. You remember the timing I showed you before with the timers? Yeah, this one uses the principle with timers. As you can see, we have a lot of timers here. As you can see, there's no timing wheel. As you can see in the top here, we have a sensor without the color mode, and it just detects when the piston is on the top. It has a lot of power. As you can see, this is the idle mode. It's around 40 kilometers an hour in the idle. I'm not pushing throttle, as you can see. Now, if I push the throttle, look. It's so laggy, oh my god. We're getting around 70 kilometers an hour. 70 yeah, I cannot even steer. This is crazy. 70 kilometers an hour with the magnetic piston engine. Now, and this is the last one. This one, as you can see, it's very long, and you might be wondering why it's so long. It's because this one here, you can see that we have a piston that is extended. This one uses the stabilization of the springs. Now I'm going to show you how it works. Yeah, we need some. Okay, now it's going. As you can see, we have some springs there, but the RPM is not that great. It's very stable, don't get me wrong. It's very stable, which is very good. But yeah, it's just this engine could go way faster. Now if we push the throttle, it's a little bit faster. We're reaching around 40 kilometers an hour. But yeah, that's about it. Like this I wouldn't recommend really using this one. Now what we have left here is some things more about electromagnetic piston engines. Now this one right here uses the same principle with the timers, as you can see right here. This is also a very old engine that I've built a while ago, but yeah, as you can see, it has a lot of power. But yeah, the problem comes when we take away these wheels. Then it usually just breaks. Yeah, as you can see. Oh my god. You see why you need these rails? This is the reason. Now this is another one of my piston engine designs that I've built also a while ago. This one uses the spring stabilization. Now we're gonna push this down and we're gonna turn it on. And as you can see, this one has some electromagnets on the top and electromagnets on the bottom. That's why it's so powerful. The only problem with this one is that it also doesn't use any timing wheel. It's just with the timers, so it's also not that good. Oh, this one is the one that was in the car before. If you're wondering why I have so much piston engine with the timers, it's because at that time when I built these, I really didn't know anything about timing wheels. I didn't really know how to make them. As you can see, here's the full glory of the timing. It just extends the time. And we push this. Oh my goodness. So yeah, this is the problem usually with magnetic piston engines, that they just wanna escape the freaking cylinder. If you ever wondered what it's like, the first thing you're gonna see, we have 4 cylinders, meaning 4 pistons. I never suggest building double cylinder or triple or 4 cylinders of electromagnetic piston engines, just because magnetic fields interact with each other even though they are like this far apart. As you can see, I put these things here, but it's still interfering with each other, and it's really not that good. It works, don't get me wrong, it works. I'm gonna show you right now. It's a bit laggy, of course. Yeah, but it works. But it's I never suggest using this. Maximum that I suggest is probably 2, but you have to make them far apart, more further than this, or you have to think of some different way to make them so they don't interfere with each other. This one is one of the first engines that I've built that used the timing wheel. It was at the time that I started experimenting with the timing wheels. As you can see, this one also doesn't use any stabilization. As you can see, we have a lot of problems there with the piston. Yeah, that's what usually happens. This one was this one is very long time ago. This is actually, I think, one of the first, yeah, this is one of the first engines that I've built. Yeah, this one doesn't even have any timing, like this is 0 timing. This is the same thing as the first thing that I showed you guys. No timing, no stabilization, nothing. It's just literally piston. Oh my god, it's so, wait, can we actually run it or no? Come on. Wait, maybe this side. It just, bro, what? It just doesn't work. Okay, now it works. It just needs high RPM. That's it. Yeah, this is probably one of the worst the electromagnetic piston engines that I've built. But if I'm not wrong, it's one of the first. It's not the first, maybe the second one or the third one, but it's one of the first piston engines that I've ever built. It's very freaking bad. Now here we have one that is very small. It uses timing wheel, but this one lacks some stabilization. It doesn't have any stabilization. But considering that, this weight for this engine is very impressive, not gonna lie. I really don't remember when I built all of this. Sometimes I built these and I really just save them and I never use them. Now let's try to, okay, wait. Let's try to push the throttle and see what happens. Bro, come on. Oh my goodness. Oh my god. Yeah, that's why you use stabilization again, bro. This is crazy. Now, here we have another thing. I'm gonna talk about this in 1 minute. Let me show you quickly. This is the engine that was on the car that we drove before. As you can see, even in the high RPMs, it's still stable and it's still the same RPM as before. The spring stabilization is bad, but it's very, very reliable. So if you want an engine that is very reliable and doesn't like break, then use the spring stabilization. Now, if you ever thought about making a clutch in scrap mechanic and you thought, okay, maybe I could use magnets, because you know, if I make the magnets pull each other, wait, which, yeah, as you can see, if they pull each other, right, technically they should, like, you know, they should act like a clutch, which you can engage and disengage, right? But look what happens when we start increasing the speed of the motor. Like with low RPMs, it's actually good. As you can see, if this one can just spin on its own, and this is your engine input, and you put the clutch, and bam, it just spins. The problem is when you have a little bit more RPM. Now with this one, we can already see what the problem is going to be. If we increase the speed even more, okay, this one, it's very unstable already, but it keeps the wheels spinning. As you can see, it's not very consistent spinning. It's like it spins, it stops, and then it spins again. But yeah, at some point, okay, yeah. So at this point, yeah, as you can see, it's just too fast for the wheels, and it doesn't work that way. Now, some of you may ask, like, just increase the piston range, right? So it's gonna like be more close. Well, if we increase the piston range, this happens. So yeah, I never ever suggest using electromagnets for a clutch in scrap mechanic. So yeah guys, I really suggest trying out these electromagnets. The mod on the Steam Workshop is literally called electromagnets. I'm gonna leave a link down in the description where you can download the mod for electromagnets. Also, go check out the first link in the description. It's gonna be my Discord server that I recently made, and you can send scrap mechanic builds to that server, and I'm gonna definitely check them out. Maybe in video, maybe no, but I'm definitely gonna check them out 100%. What do you think about electromagnetic engines? Maybe there's some way to improve them more, maybe there's some way to stabilize them more. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe to this channel, and I see you in the next one, guys. Take care.